Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Dean of Academic Affairs, President Kamata, Rector Dr. Michael Hoch, Vice President and Executive Board will enter the room. Please kindly rise and applaud. Be seated. I now declare the commencement of the conferment ceremony of the honorary doctorate upon Dr. Michael Hoch, Rector of the University of Bonn. First, let me call upon President Kaoru Kamata to deliver his speech.
Good morning. It is a great pleasure and a huge honor for us to welcome Professor Michael Hoch, Rector of the University of Bonn, and host the honorary doctorate conferral ceremony with the gracious presence of so many guests of honor. Rector Hoch has achieved excellent and outstanding accomplishments in the area of molecular biology, has been in a large number of high-level positions at the University of Bonn, and is also exerting his skill in the management of the university. In Germany, he has held numerous important posts in so many academic and research institutions and has been instrumental in the development of these organizations. On top of that, through the exchanges between our universities, he has made enormous contributions for the advancement of science and technology in both Germany and Japan, and for human resources cultivation, and these are all highly appreciated in both of our countries. Rector Hoch earned his PhD in biology at the University of Munich in 1992. He then engaged in research at the Department of Molecular Developmental Biology of Max Planck Institute for Biophysical Chemistry and was appointed independent group leader in 1994. In 1996, at Technical University of Braunschweig, he achieved his habilitation and Venia Legendi in developmental genetics and cell biology. In 1999, he became the chair of molecular developmental biology at the University of Bonn. In 2006, he founded and became the managing director of the Life and Medical Sciences Institute and was elected as the rector of the University of Bonn in 2015. Off the campus, he is active on many science and technology-related committees, including German Academic Exchange Service, Minerva Fellowship Committee for the Promotion of German-Israeli Research, and the PhD Fellowship Selection Committee of the German National Academic Foundation. His academic accomplishments have been acknowledged by many awards, and high performances have resulted in contract researchers awarded by third party like German Research Foundation, and continues to be highly respected as an outstanding researcher. From 2006, joint researches were initiated between Waseda's Consolidated Research Institute for Advanced Science and Medical Care, ASMU. So far, more than 100 students, faculty, and staff members have participated in the exchange program. A large number of joint symposia and workshops have been held, and active education and research exchanges are continuing. In 2016, the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences of the University of Bonn and Waseda Advanced Science and Engineering signed the Agreement on Joint Supervision Program, where Rector Hoch himself joined the supervision, producing doctoral degree awardees, and is an immense contribution to the academic advancement of both universities and to human capital development and exchanges. Waseda University has a very long history of exchanges with the Federal Republic of Germany and with the University of Bonn. Starting with the agreement concluded between the University of Bonn in 1960, we now have some 55 agreements between German universities and academic institutions, and active exchanges between students and researchers are continuing year after year. At Waseda University, German is taught as a language, of course, but a large number of courses covering Germany are taught in many disciplines, and at the Global Education Center, German research is available as a sub-major for all departments, and therefore, regardless of the department, numerous students are studying and deepening their understanding about German culture and society. We have had the honor to confer honorary doctorate to 10 persons, including Rector Hoch from the Federal Republic of Germany. In November of last year, the then President Joachim Gauck delivered a speech at Waseda, passionately emphasized the importance of strengthening our relationship between our two countries, and warmly encouraged our students with his kind remarks. The University of Bonn is the most important partner for us in Germany, with the longest history of association, and it is therefore of particular significance for us to confer the honorary doctorate to Rector Michael Hoch, who has done so much to deepen our friendship between the universities, has contributed enormously to the advancement of academic researchers of both universities, and has supported the cultivation of a large number of outstanding researchers. It is our sincere hope that active exchanges between the universities will continue, and that by further deepening this relationship, there will be a succession of talented human capital who would contribute to the promotion of friendship between Germany and Japan and to global peace. May I conclude my remarks by praying for further advancement of our friendship between the University of Bonn and Waseda University, and between Germany and Japan, and for the continued success, happiness, and prosperity of Rector Michael Hoch. Thank you very much.
Next, we will confer the certificate upon Dr. Michael Hoch. Certificate to Dr. Michael Hoch in recognition of your outstanding contribution with erudition and exceptional scientific expertise to the development of molecular biology, and your dedication as rector of the University of Bonn to the advancement of Bonn-Waseda academic partnership in pursuit of the promotion of education research. Waseda University, in accordance with the policies, hereby confers the honorary doctorate of science. October 9th, 2017, signed by Kaoru Kamata, President of Waseda University. May I call upon Dr. Hoch to deliver his memorial recipient address. Dr. Hoch, please.
Konnichiwa. Dear President Kaoru Kamata, Vice Presidents of Waseda and Bonn Universities, Deans, faculty and students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Thank you very much. This is a moving moment for me, and I'm very honored to receive this honorary doctorate from your university. One of the most prestigious universities in the world. I consider it a true privilege to be standing here, and I'm thankful. The decision of awarding me this high academic degree is a strong symbol for me of continued friendship of both of our universities and between the Japanese and German scientists that have kept it alive throughout the years. Therefore, I'd like to thank in particularly those who I have met and who have supported our cooperation. The present and former presidents, vice presidents, the deans and faculty of the engineering and life science departments, and also the Japanese postdocs, PhD, master and bachelor students, more than 200, which I have encountered since 2006, when we started our intense collaboration with the SMU and Twins Institutes of Waseda University. I come to you today to Shinjuku, Tokyo from Bonn on the River Rhine, the city in which almost 250 years ago Ludwig van Beethoven was born, the genius who is much appreciated and worshipped, especially by many of your countrymen, Just recently I read that the most frequently played piece of classical music in Japan is Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. What a wonderful connection. In the year 1818, less than 50 years after the birth of Beethoven, King Frederick William of Prussia founded the University of Bonn, which I have the great honor of representing as the 143rd rector. The University of Bonn was the third newly founded university in Prussian times, and it embodied the spirit of modernization, enlightenment, and humanism. It were the educational ideals of the Enlightenment, particularly those of the great scholar Wilhelm von Humboldt, that entered the lecture halls, libraries, and study chambers. From now on, the main task of university work was no longer the gathering, sorting, and imparting of knowledge. Rather, it was to form a unity with research, that is, the production of knowledge. With these elements of unity of science, education through science, the research imperative and the freedom of teaching and learning, Humboldt initiated a complete reorganization of the educational system. The ideal of the modern university was born, which was used as a role model from then on in many countries around the world, also here in Japan, also at your venerable university. The Waseda University is, as far as I understand, also the result and an instrument of Japan's renewal during the Meiji era. It is not the only parallel in history of both of our universities, which were founded in the spirit of renewal and today belong to the best universities in the world. I can see many parallels and similarities that both of our universities have in common, and that is precisely what I want to talk about today, about similarities, about, and this is the title of my speech, the role of science in society, common challenges of German and Japanese higher education institutions. It is amazing how much in common Germany and Japan have. These similarities can be found both in the intensive cooperation of countries that spans many decades, the President has mentioned that before, as well as our interaction, be it cultural, political, or scientific. There is no doubt nowadays Japan and Germany are models of economic and social stability. We enjoy a high standard of living, and our education and scientific systems are highly developed. But both of us also face major challenges, even problems, and significant, often still unresolved issues of the 21st century that are of central importance to the future. I would like to briefly address one of these, of the greatest social challenges, because it affects our two countries like no other, the demographic change. First, the positive. In no other country in the world so many people can hope to live as long a life as here in Japan. And Germans too are healthier than ever and getting older. This is a great development, also thanks to medical sciences. There is, however, a parallel development that is rather worrying. In 1966, there were still about 2.5 million 18-year-olds in Japan. In 2014, this figure had already fallen down to 1.18 million, so almost halved. And by 2034, it is expected to fall below 1 million. In Germany, we have a very similar development, although the number is recently increasing due to the migration of immigrants. Fact is, our societies are on average too old. Addressing this is a balancing act for our political and social systems. We must not impair the future chances of our young generations, who are shrinking in proportion by burdening on them the heavy loads caused by the aging societies. At the same time, however, we must not deny those older people to whom we owe so much the security of their well-earned retirement. Therefore, I appreciate the technological development in Japan so much and the openness of the society towards technical innovation, which will enable older people to care for even older people using care robots and artificial intelligence. Robots such as the dog Aibo or the humanoid robot Astro Boy have taken on iconic popular status in Japan. In Germany, we are often still too skeptic about launching new technologies in our society. In this respect, we can learn a lot from our Japanese friends. The world seems to be going through unsettled political times. All certainties are rapidly revised. We are facing an exponentially increasing global population growth, climate change, environmental pollution, and loss of biodiversity threaten our livelihoods. The advancing digitalization, intelligent machines, new forms of human communication, and the continuous and not avoidable transition to a new form economy, the bioeconomy, which will be based on renewable biomaterials and natural resources, will further change, deeply change our working and living worlds. Many of the challenges are laid down in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations. It is the fundamental role and responsibility of science in and for society to make the essential contribution to addressing these challenges of the 21st century, which are of historic importance to mankind. No other cultural field has contributed as profoundly to social development and the improvement of people's living conditions in recent centuries. It was science that allowed innovations and social benefits, whether in life and natural sciences, medicine or agriculture, whether in music, philosophy or literature. Asking questions, exploring related fields, and then being able to offer solutions that was, is, and will remain the responsibility of science and its institutions of higher education. And it is in the same spirit that we have to educate our students and attract the most talented young faculty and professors from all over the world to our universities. Therefore, internationalization, exchange of experience, and strategic partnership are key to the future development of higher education institutions. And I'm personally very glad that we have with the Waseda University also our most important strategic partner. Thank you. We regard internationalization as a central element in the strategic development of our university and as a necessity. Excellent relations with renowned universities and research institutions around the world make it possible for us to fulfill our role as a major player in the transnational scientific society. The cooperation of different universities in the sharing of resources and infrastructures, as well as the exchange of expertise, will be essential in the future in order to achieve optimum education and research conditions. Identifying young talents and clever minds from all over the world and attracting them to our respective universities is therefore essential for both of our institutions. Only with outstanding minds will we be able to cope with the future and keep pace with the international competition of cutting-edge research. Our most important challenge in the future will continue to be to ensure that universities are in a position to attract outstanding researchers and talented students. In the past, Waseda University and University of Bonn have always succeeded in an impressive way. It was the great researchers that shaped and still continue to shape our two universities in their history and also give the individual subjects their special character. In order to keep pace with the national and international competition, we do, however, need the appropriate framework conditions. Without the correct equipment, without adequate resources, and without necessary infrastructures, scientific work and scientific progress are not possible. The basic funding of the universities, however, continues to languish, is reduced, even though universities are the foundation of scientific work and innovation. Innovations depend on scientific breakthroughs that come unexpectedly and cannot be planned. All the important inventions of humankind are the result of coincidences, of discoveries in a research process driven by curiosity, because there was the space, time, and freedom to develop ideas. To ensure that Germany and Japan continue to succeed in the global competition for innovation, more money must be invested in research and education. And we must make this clear to the politicians at every opportunity. Before ending my speech, I would like to address one aspect that has been on my mind and has troubled me a lot in recent months: the threat to scientific freedom, the targeted attacks that are intended to damage the integrity of our work. Article 23 of the Japanese Constitution, in place since 1947, reads, "The freedom of science is guaranteed." Similar in Germany, Article 5 of the German Basic Law reads, "Arts and sciences, research and teaching shall be free." These principles must not be tampered with. A look at what is happening around the world is disturbing. Egypt is already a country far away from scientific freedom. Turkey faces a similar threat. Poland's scientific screen is lying down for now. And the constraints that the American president wants to impose upon his country's scientific freedom are difficult to assess, even for American experts. These examples concern us too. They are not just a problem in these countries, but a universal one. The questioning of science by politics and society is fundamentally not a new phenomenon. In the course of history, science often had to hold its own against societal hostility and the political climate. Science is not the servant of politics, nor the servant of society, even if it was seen as such by interested parties for a long time. The anti-scientific worldview, the rejection of science knowledge and facts, feeds on a mixture of fear of globalization and the related fear of social relegation. Populists and demagogues have learned to use and incite distrust, and they attack the elites, which from their point of view includes also us as scientists, without any inhibition. It will be our responsibility to take a decisive and assertive stand against these attacks. Scientific facts must shape the future, not fiction or fake news. In April of this year, I joined forces with many others in the so-called March for Science, a stand against the anti-scientific worldview that is so rampant across the globe. Here in Japan, there were also demonstrations by scientists and students. However, I'm also strongly convinced that in the future, we will have to make the development of scientific knowledge more comprehensible, in line with the principles of transparency and openness, and that we then have to enter into a dialogue with society. Perhaps we are going to have to leave the ivory tower of science even more frequently in order to promote and fight for our scientific knowledge in and with society. Let me now end my speech on this special day by expressing again how fortunate it is that our two universities have maintained such intensive relations for more than 50 years. It is not least the direct exchange of many faculty, scientists and students of various scientific fields that makes this partnership between Waseda and Bonn a true success story, and allowed strategy and cooperation to grow into personal contacts and collaboration. This is not self-evident, but it is also a reason to warmly thank all those involved in this success in the past and present. In particular, I would like to mention one name as a representative for all others, Professor Toru Asahi, with whom I had started the Limes ASIMU Twins Corporation in Biomedical Sciences in 2006 and 2007. Thank you, Professor Asahi. All of this is to happen in the spirit of Wilhelm von Humboldt, whom I mentioned earlier. He once wrote, "But the essence of man is to recognize himself in another." And this is exactly what we have to focus on today, perhaps more than ever. Communication and understanding, encounters and exchanges, cooperation and connection. Let us accept these challenges, whether here in Shinjuku, Tokyo, or nearly 9,000 kilometers away in Bonn. Let us try to tackle these challenges together, where possible and sensible, through encounters and exchanges rather than withdrawal and isolation. There is no doubt the challenges faced by mankind in the 21st century are significant, whether for science, its universities in particular, or for our societies, for the world in general. But there is no reason for pessimism and resignation, because we, as scientists, as representatives of scientific institutions, teach and research in order to fulfill our fundamental role in solving these questions for the future and to turn science into public knowledge. And this is not only up to us established scientists, but also and above all, the younger generation. The future belongs to them. I would like to thank you once more for the honor I received today and for your attention. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Ladies and gentlemen, you now sing the Alma Mater. Please rise and take the cap off. We will only sing the first verse. Thank you very much. Please take your seat. This concludes the honorary doctorate conferral ceremony for Dr. Michael Hoch. Dean of Academic Affairs will lead the President and Rector to depart from this conference hall. Please rise and round of applause, please. Be seated, please.